Hi there, serial trader here. We're gonna have a look at Bitcoin a lot sooner than I potentially expected to. It spent little time proving my assessment incorrect yesterday, and that's just a reminder that this is only a probability-based game. There's certainly no absolutes doing analysis and trading, and that is why you always have to manage risk and control your position size and that sort of thing. Now, in this case, I wasn't actually involved in the trade, but had I been involved in it, it certainly would have been an incorrect one. So, last time I was working this triangle, and we were expecting a triangle thrust, and we definitely got a triangle thrust, just not in the direction that seemed likely at the time. And let me go over what I mean. So, is this wrong, this ABCDE triangle with a move down? Yes, that is wrong, but there was still a triangle in play here, just not quite what I was labeling initially. And let me go through that for a second. So I'll clean this up for a moment. Okay. So how do I label this that this is still a triangle? Well, instead of just being an overall triangle, this triangle was part of a larger wave pattern, okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, there is still a triangle here. Just let me shift this around a bit. Okay. So we had a triangle within a larger corrective pattern, or that's certainly what it still appears to be at this case. And that larger corrective pattern, and just let me drop the degree down since this is internal to this overall corrective pattern. Okay, and then let's bring up our ABC. Or, yeah, we'll go with ABC for now. We'll make it a WXY if you have to. Okay. Something like this, okay. So we had our A wave up here, okay, after our bottom for now at the, was that 64.25? Then we had an A, sorry, make that A, B, C, D, E, so triangle wave B, and now we've had a triangle thrust up in wave C, okay? So definitely still a triangle and a triangle thrust, but just not as I initially anticipated. And that's the tricky thing about triangles. So you know with a high degree of confidence that there's going to be an expansion in price, accompanied by high volume and volatility. But you don't know for certain which direction it will be, because the context in which the triangle lies in is always up for debate until after the fact. So that's why in the equities world where you can trade options and that sort of thing, whenever I see a triangle like this, instead of trying to guess which direction it's going to go in, I mean, sometimes you really want to take a stab at direction, but in this case, or in many cases, you just want to buy a straddle, because you know it's either going to shoot up or shoot down, and you know that if the straddle is, if you pay the right price for the straddle, which is often the case, because usually straddles get cheaper when volatility dies down, only for the volatility to expand out of the triangle and for the straddle price overall to increase greatly. But aside from that, let's put these trend lines back on there. So it all still worked. So you had your A, C trend line, right? Then you had your BD trend line. Hang on. BD trend line. And then you had your triangle thrust measurement, which would have been the length of A taken off the apex of the triangle, right? And actually we've exceeded it, especially on that one little spike moment there. So that was still technically sound what happened. It's just my identification of it at the time was not correct. And that's going to happen. You're never always going to get it right. But it's always good to still analyze after the fact. Well, what happened? Why did it happen? What's going on, right? So let me move this over here now too. So as long as we, now one thing here, so we have our 1 down, 2 up, 3 down. We have our more complex ABC that had a triangle within it, a triangle B, which may be complete or, you know, still looking to go a little higher to complete it, who knows. But where does this become invalid? So you can't have wave 4-1 overlap if this is really going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 down. And that becomes invalidated at 8271. Okay, that's where you'd overlap wave 1 with wave 4 here, which would make it not a wave 4 and something else would be going on. So you don't need to change your count until you're forced to do so. So at this point in time, this still looks like an overall correction, unless it proves us wrong and gets that 4-1 overlap, which it hasn't done yet. I mean, if this is really such a strong move and we're kicking off a new bullish trend, it shouldn't be very difficult to get 4-1 overlap, and we just haven't even done that yet. So I'm still suspicious here. And I wouldn't say, you know, be bearish and look for a short trade here by any means. But I certainly wouldn't be a confident bull here either. Still got to wait and see how this plays out. But I just thought I'd give you an update since things quickly changed from yesterday's video there. And yeah, we'll check in the future if something new develops. Serial Trader signing off.